Hey, Kathy, how are you? I'm here. I'm just turning everything on. We're both a couple minutes early. So that's better. Just I'm just setting up my iPad so I can not only see the chat, but so that I can monitor the connection and appearance of the broadcast. Um, my download and upload speed seem to be fine this morning. And the picture from what I'm seeing on my iPad seems good. So yay. Hey, Lisa. So I have a really specific idea about what I want to do today with, of course, watercolor, because that's my primary thing. I was thinking about doing a acrylic pour this morning, but I filmed it instead yesterday. I am having a lot of fun doing the acrylic pours, and I think I finally have my paint consistency, what it should be, and the ingredients, what they should be. I'm going to be experimenting with adding some rubbing alcohol to the paint mix and seeing what that does. Some people add it, and I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm going to play. Yes. So we're going to talk about this stack of stencils first. So I recently got this in some mail. I ordered this from my dear friend, Mike Deacon, art.com. Did you all know he has his own line of stencils? And most of them are steampunk themed, masculine themed, which I love because there aren't a lot of that out there. I fell in love with this sun one of his when I saw him use it on a page not long ago. So when he was sending me something anyway that we'll talk about in a minute, I said, can you toss in one of those sun stencils and bill me for that? Because I'd really love one. Hey, Irene. Hey, Katrina. So this is from mikedeaconart.com. There is the website there. Let's see. Yeah. I'll try to remember to edit it into the video description afterwards. And it is a fabulous stencil. So go shopping. He has stencils and all kinds of stuff. Go over to mikedeaconart.com and look around. He's got some great stuff. I'm all for supporting our local artists. You know that, in our community. And I don't mean local in the actual like around the corner sense. I mean local in our community sense. He is in the UK. I'm in California. So we're not exactly local. These are my stencils. Mike has been helping me professionally produce my own line of stencils for those that don't know yet. Let's do the other two first. These two are already available for purchase in my Etsy shop. This is the arrows one. And these are my actual working copies. And this is the face, the meditative face one. I've already narfed up my stencil because, you know, that's what I do. Both of these are currently in stock here in my house, and they are for sale in the Etsy shop. The link to the Etsy shop's in the description below. I'd appreciate it if you guys go over there, look around, go shopping. I also currently have all of the stamp sets in stock in cling mount. I don't have them all in stock and unmounted. That's fine though. You can still order them that way, and they will come to you drop shipped from the manufacturer. It takes a couple days extra, but it's worth it if that's what you want to do. It doesn't cost you any extra money. In fact, it saves you a little money to get them unmounted. It just takes a little extra time. Thank you so much. Okay, so these are brand new. When I got this one, it was because he was sending me a stock shipment of these and 2 new prototypes. And so he was sending me the stock shipment and the new prototypes. I said, Mike, can you toss in a sun for me, please? So here are the 2 new prototypes. I am going to be playing with them today and ordering stock in the next day or two. These should be ready to come out for May. This is the first one. And this is one of my favorite doodles I've ever done. It is available as a digital download in my Etsy shop, and I love it as a stencil. I've been playing with it and doing a DIY version of it, and to have it properly laser cut. I almost said cutted because that's proper English. Is just fabulous, and I haven't had time since I got it, which was just the other day. But I'm going to play with it today, and I can already tell you I love this one. I'm going to make some more melted metallic paste and play with this because I think that might be great. And here's the other one, which is a feather stencil, which is another favorite doodle of mine. I will be coming out with more faces. I just don't want to bombard you all with only faces. I've got a lot of designs. There'll be 2 every month or so coming out for the next little bit. And these 2 will be available soon. As soon as I test them and approve them, I will, and I have the prototypes on order, I will have these available for pre-order. Not the prototypes, the stock. As soon as I order the stock, I will put them available for pre-order in the Etsy shop. And again, the first 2 are still in stock, so you can order either one of these already. Okay, oh good, Lisa. Hey, Mary. Hey, Gerda. So I want to make sure that I tell you all about that and, remind you to support not only myself in my Etsy shop, but your other local artists that you like. Most of us only do this. We don't have another job. And, or if we do, we're not making a lot of money. So, they call it starving artists they don't call it that for nothing. So, support them when you can. And I think that's a great thing to do. Pay the karma forward. I also wanted to tell you really quick, if you're getting into pouring medium and pouring acrylics and you're like me and you want to use reusable cups to mix your paint in. Oh yeah, Katrina, I will. Hang on a second. These little cups that I've been using are from Q-tips from the dollar store. And they make a great mixing cup. And these, which I really am not a fan of plastic palette knives. You all know this. If you've been watching any of my videos, I recently purged a bunch of these out of my stock. But these make great stirrers for mixing your pouring paint. And they're reusable. So you're not using like a paper cup and a popsicle stick and then tossing it in the trash when you're done. And I kind of like that. So these plastic palette knives some of them are on clearance at Michael's. So you might want to check it out. I got this for 49 cents. And Katrina, I'm glad you said that because there's been a couple questions lately. The design team video just came out on, for this month, came out on Saturday. And I got a few questions. What do you mean by unmounted versus cling mounted? So I'm going to show you. Let me show you. Let me pull one that I have. Okay. The same design done both ways. Okay. So, Deb, thank you. I love the girl stencil too. I do have about 6 girls. So we're going to be coming out with them slowly. So I have a few faces and not all full front on, some are profile. And I have a couple like basic bare bones face, so you can put the features down and then embellish it. So yeah, it's going to be fun. And thank you for that. You love. Can you use Mary? You want to you could use a 1 ounce cup, but it depends if it's going to be enough paint. Depends on the size of the canvas that you're pouring. So I filled these about 1/3 to halfway. And I got 2 8x10 canvases out of it. So it just depends on how big of a pour you're doing. You're going to have to experiment. All right. So this is one of my stamp collections. This is one of the first ones I came out with. God, 3 years ago. Can you believe that? This is one of the first ones we came out with 2 or 3 years ago. I've lost track now, so I don't even know. Maybe one of you guys knows better than me. This is or was the most popular design, the feather. It's still pretty popular. And this is what I mean by unmounted versus cling mounted. This is an unmounted. I'm going to just quickly open this so you can see. So this particular set, if you bought any of the designs unmounted, they come like this. You get a single sheet of unmounted, deep etched red rubber with all of the different designs on the single sheet. And it just like this. It's going to look like this. And then you need to mount it to cling mount foam and then cut them out. You can use a product called Easy Mount. You could, of course, mount them to cling mount foam and then glue it to a wood block if you prefer wood block stamps. I can order the stamps as wood block, but I no longer carry them in stock. They don't sell. Well, that's just, you know, that was a money thing. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I prefer the cling mount. They're easier to store than a bunch of wood block stamps. But I know there's some people, some folks out there that still prefer the wood block. Of course, now getting this back in here is a pain in the neck. So I do have a few of the unmounted in stock. I do carry them. I don't carry as much of them as the cling mount, which is the more popular way. Hi, Eve. No, you're not late. So yeah, so if you put them on the Easy Mount and then you cut them out, then they will stick to an acrylic block and they will look something like this set. You just have to do it yourself. This set's already done that. They've already mounted it on the Easy Mount foam for you, and they've already die cut it. And then you just take them off and you stick them to your acrylic block. Yeah, old CD or DVD boxes are the best way to store these, and honestly, that's how I store mine, most of mine. I also have a binder full of the Ranger. They have their stamp pockets, and I have a binder with them in there, and I have my set of stamps from my design line in that binder, so I can just pull it. It's just because I'm lazy. It's an easy thing. I can pull the whole binder down when I'm working on a design team video. So that's the difference. Getting a sheet of plain unmounted red rubber versus having to mount them and then cut them out versus having it done already. So when you're paying the extra few bucks to get them this way, that's why, because they already die cut them and mounted them for you. Yeah, so I really prefer to have them cling mounted rather than have to do it myself. It's just because I'm lazy. It's not hard to cut out. I'm just lazy, to be honest. All right, let me put these away and then we can get started. All righty. So we got all those questions and comments and concerns out of the way. And yeah, Mary, you could start out with doing the 1 ounce cups and do a mini pour and maybe practice on one of these, you know, maybe not this small, but you could get a 4x4 canvas. I've got a bunch of these in different sizes, but and do a mini pour. Go look at Anne-Marie Ritterhoff's channel, and also there's a new one I just heard of this morning called Danny Clark. And they both do lots of acrylic pours. Okay, we're going to use my mixed palette this morning, which has in it Quar, Winsor Newton, Grumbacher, Schminke, and Van Gogh. Just because it was easy for me to get a hold of this morning. And this is going to be my inspiration face this morning. This is the current issue of W Magazine, which came in the mail just the other day. So this is the May issue. I really like the way the light's hitting her face and the proportion of her features. So we're going to use that. I'm going to prop it up off camera because you don't really need to see that. I don't think. Yeah, if everybody could give the video a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, if you would, that would be fabulous. I'm going to get all these wet, and they can just sit kind of marinating while we're talking about what we're doing. And acrylic pours are very addicting, Gerda. I'm having a lot of fun with them, I've got to say, and I'm looking forward to experimenting with the different formulas for creating the pouring paint. I'm going to be practicing with adding alcohol to the paint and seeing what that does. I know some people add it. I don't understand quite why, so I'm going to play. I have an overabundance of paint in my room. Big surprise, I know. And so, you know, it's going to be a great way to use up some of it. And you're welcome, Katrina. All right. So I took my little journal the other day in between waiting for acrylic pours to dry, and I took our new Neon and Brights palette, and I just randomly put some on this page, and there's still some salt stuck to here. Let me get it off. And I got the page wet, and then I put some of the paint down, and then while it was wet, I sprinkled salt in it, and then I let it dry. So if you sprinkle salt in it, and I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. Okay, if you sprinkle salt in it, you get this pattern here in the paint because the salt will pick up and absorb some of the water and the pigment. These are watercolors. Yeah, Katrina. So you get this interesting sort of brightly colored textured background, which is what I wanted. And we're going to try something that I've done as a mixed media piece. After, by the way, you have to let the paint dry naturally. So you just set the whole thing aside to dry, and then you just rub off the salt. And it tends to want to stick to the paper, so I think there's a few random bits here and there, but we're going to leave them. Yeah, I saw Anne-Marie Ritterhoff do that, Gerda, and that looked really interesting. Okay, so I've tried what we're going to do on here as a mixed media with an bright acrylic background and then putting charcoal on top. I've done it with different layers of different kinds of acrylic paint and ink. I've actually never done it in just watercolor, so we're going to give it a try. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint in a face, hopefully well, but you know, no, I'm not going to guarantee anything. And we are going to paint it in with the dark tones, and we are going to leave these bright tones peeping through. We may also try a watercolor hack. So I'm going to get one of these out in case I need it. This is a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. I'm going to cut off a piece in the shape of like a makeup wedge. Now, supposedly, this will lift watercolor paint. Hey, Paula. So I'm going to get my magic eraser wet, and then I'm going to squeeze the water out, and I'm going to put it over here on my plate, off camera. And then we're going to grab a pencil, and let's do a little bit of a sketch first. And this is a Stabilo all pencil which is water soluble, and it's graphite. Okay. And yeah, I've seen acrylic pours on not only LPs, but flower pots, bird houses. Like if it's something that can be painted, people are doing acrylic pours on it. Okay, so the next is deciding where to put her face, and I kind of really want it over here. So I want to sort of sketch in some features. Yeah, Paula, you haven't missed a lot. We were just talking about my stencil line and Mike Deacon's stencil line and that sort of thing. You know what? I can get the Stabilo pencils at my local art shop, but they don't always have them in stock. So I find myself just doing the easy thing and getting them from Amazon, to be honest. It really is the easiest way to get stuff sometimes. I'm not looking at the chat right now, so if anybody's asked me a question that I haven't answered, that would be why. I'm looking at her face and I'm kind of rough sketching in her features. I'm not worried about exact proportions matching exactly her face. Her face is inspiration. That being said, if you are worried about it, you can always use some artist transfer paper to transfer, laying the photo over your journal page and transfer her face that way. There's a little piece of salt right there. Now this pencil again is water soluble, so it's going to mix with whatever water or whatever I put on there. So here's our pencil sketch. Okay. Yes, Paula, you are spelling it correctly. And the Stabilo All pencil comes in black, graphite, red, blue, yellow, and green. And it is, I don't know who it's by, it just says Stabilo. Aquarellable. Derwent, any water soluble pencil when you aren't sure about wanting the lines to stay. Now, as you all know, if you've been watching me for a while, I don't always care if the lines stay or not. So sometimes I just use a regular pencil. Use what you have. Don't feel like you have to go out and buy anything special. Okay. So we're going to get our brushes wet. And we're going to start with the bigger of the brush. And we're going to start with our, so we've already got our bright, warm, sunny colors on here. So we're going to start with the shadow colors, which is backwards from how I've been telling you guys to paint with watercolor. So we're going to start with our lightest, warmest shadow color. Probably the one you're going to use the most is black. I like the graphite, but probably the one that you're going to use the most is black. So I'm going to start with raw umber, which is sort of a golden brown color. I'm going to put my plate over here so you can see it. Try to keep our sponge clean. And I'm using her picture for reference for shadow and light, right? So I'm going to, this is my lightest shadow color. I'm going to put a little bit on, and then I'm going to come in with just water. And that graphite Stabilo pencil will mix with the water and the paint, and that's okay. It's one of the things I like about it. And I can tell you already that for this painting, this pen, what is this? This paintbrush, it's not working for me. I'm going to switch back to a filbert. Filbert's an old favorite style brush of mine, whether I'm painting in acrylics or watercolor. It seems to be one I go back to quite often. So again, I'm looking at the photo. I am looking at where the shadows are in her photo, and I am adding some of this raw umber to the painting in those areas to just try to bring out her features. The idea, as I said, is to leave the bright colored background that's already there. We've already got that shadows there. It's backwards from how I normally paint, but I thought it would be an interesting challenge. The photo is from the cover of W magazine. You can do this with any reference photo of any face that you find interesting. The exact photo doesn't matter, but this is the photo that we're using. This is the current issue of W magazine, which I do subscribe to. There we go. I do subscribe to. It's a great magazine for collage images. But you could do this technique with any photo. So I want to already test our sponge. Wow. Okay. Just FYI, the magic eraser sponge does work. It's pulling up some of the blue in the background that was down there on, yeah, it's Wonder Woman, that was down there since Monday. Holy moly. Okay, so FYI, the magic eraser does work. Wow, okay. Good to know. So that hack works. All right, so now we're going to go with Davy's Gray, which is a green gray. Hey, B. Okay, we don't want to get too far before we get in here with water. Yeah, Mary, I really, I figured it was one of those Pinterest hacks that honestly, pardon my French, was a load of crap. It's interesting to know that it actually is not. I didn't expect that. The magic eraser is very interesting. It's more interesting than I thought it was going to be. So it definitely picked up some of the blue that was in her forehead. Which has been down there since Monday. So it was well and good and dry. So I'm switching back for a second to the raw umber. Just for a second. We're going to add some shading to her lips. Ugh, my stomach is grumbly. And no, if you caught that, I didn't clean my brush off. I just went ahead and grabbed the other color. You don't always have to clean your brush off. The magic eraser is from the dollar store. It's something that you use to clean stains off of things. It's in your cleaning supplies aisle. It's a household cleaning tool, which is why I kind of thought, you know, there's no way. Really? That's not going to work. I thought it was full of baloney, but I was wrong. Yeah, bleach would work. Bleach, yeah, bleach work. Bleach is interesting to use. If you haven't used bleach on your artwork of any sort yet, I would recommend giving it a try because it's interesting. So I am just playing with the shadows, and you know, at some point it'll start to come together, hopefully. We'll see. Hopefully. Now, if you start to lose some of your like reference lines and you're worried about that, you can, you know, go back in. Oops. Okay. The smell will eventually go away, Kathy. It just takes a little while. So yeah, Magic Sponge, Magic Eraser, that's just a brand name. So any of these like magic cleaning sponges they used to get like stains off the wall in the kitchen and stuff like that. Evidently, yes, they really do work for lifting watercolor paint, which I didn't expect would happen. I'm going to go in now with some indigo, which is, as those of you who know, dark blue. It's really dark. We're going to add some water to it. Yeah, so check out the household department. And when we were in the art chat yesterday with some of the ladies from my year 2017 and other groups, we have the group that meets every Tuesday and we just hang out and do art and chit chat. We were discussing the benefits of also hitting the makeup supply aisle and getting, you know, eyelash brushes, clean, unused eyebrow brushes, and eyelash brushes like spoolies, and some of those kind of things, and using those in your art because they make interesting marks. Okay, so this is the, again, this is the indigo. I'm not going to go too far again before I come back with water and make things more sort of blendy and suggestive, right? Okay, I will admit to you guys, I think this is a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why I always think these things are not going to be fun. Probably because I don't think they're going to be fun to do on camera. I was wrong. Again. So I'm doing the hair because I'm just giving kind of her face a little time to dry. A little bit. So I'm with you guys. I'm really loving the way she's turning out, which I didn't expect. So I already said that though. And you could keep at this and really, get as detailed as you want. You all know I'm not one for tons of detail. She has fabulous eyebrows. I'm just not gonna, I don't know that I'm gonna do them justice, but she has fabulous eyebrows. She's really a beautiful woman, and I think that's why I was so attracted to doing her face on here. I took one look at the cover shot and went, I think I have to paint that. I'm not looking at the chat, FYI. So when you're doing something like this and you're really trying hard to be suggestive, the one thing you don't want to do is let the paint sit for too long before you get back with the water and do some blending and spreading out of the pigment. Although if you do make a mistake, evidently, as all just found out, well, you can use a magic eraser to fix it. So that's good to know. It just really works like a charm. You just put it on there and just sucks all the water up. Okay, so let me catch up on the chat. Hey, Barbara. So, Paula, the only secret I can tell you is I paint a lot. Practice. I will tell you, if you guys want to get better at the suggestive painting thing, about really being expressive in your paint, I definitely can, if you have it in your budget, recommend one particular teacher who does teach in person and online. Her name is Pauline Agnew. Her link is not in the description. She's from Ireland. I can give it to you all, those who would like it. She's a really fabulous teacher, and I learned a lot from taking her classes. Okay. Oh, I don't know about that. I never make mistakes. I don't know. Maybe I just don't show you guys. So this is a Moleskin watercolor journal, and it is 140-pound cold press, which is my preference. I like the texture on the cold press paper. I have a Pentalic, but I haven't used it yet. I got one for Christmas. This is a Moleskin. I've been trying to kind of fill this one up first. But I've heard good things about the Pentalic journals. You know, Paula, I don't remember. She has a few different online courses. Some are in abstract painting, some are figure work, flowers. She's got different ones. So you have to go look it up. Yeah, this is 140 pound. I'm pretty sure it's 140 pound. I don't think I have the, I don't think I stuck the label in the cover, but it is definitely a Moleskin. All right, so let's keep going and let's go to neutral tint, which is like a transparent black. It's more purpley than the blue of the indigo. So it's, yeah, Paula, remind me, send me a an email or a PM over on Facebook. I know if you have it in your budget, she's about to have a class in Spain. I don't quite have that in my budget, but wouldn't that be nice? She's really great to take a live in-person class with. So again, we're just going to those shadows, spots. We're making them darker. By adding those cooler colors, trying to do it and challenge ourselves to do it without adding black. That's the easy way to do it. But that's not necessarily the way I like to do it. I'm going to, let's see. Oh, it's 135. Thank you for looking it up. I know that I'm really happy with the paper. It does warp a little bit as it dries, but it is really nice. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a really nice paper to work on. Now, because we're usually using mostly transparent watercolors, you're able to see hints of the other colors underneath, which is nice. And I love that. Yeah, in Spain. She does classes in Spain, Ireland. She does come to the United States. I don't know what her schedule is for the next year. I have taken a class with her here in California, which was a lot of fun. But I found out about her online, and my first class I took with her was online. So again, we're not going to get too far on the areas where we want to, you know, blend it out and make the color lighter in tone. You don't want to let it dry on there too far before you get in there with the water. Okay, let's see. Love the moleskin. I haven't tried the Pentalic yet, but yeah, I'm with you, Mary. Let's all pack and go to Spain. We need to win the lottery so we can all go to Spain. Urban sketching, Paula, is when you go outside with your materials and you sketch out in the environment, out in the world. So I'm going to come in with some purple. I'm going to use dioxazine purple. Purple's a really good shadow color. I'm going to just put it here where I had the neutral tint, which isn't really honestly going to do too much to it. No, Eve, there's something about the way they make these magic sponges or these cleaning sponges. It's different texture and material than a regular sponge. A regular sponge will lift up some of the paint if it's wet, but it won't take it off. Like this one, I couldn't have gotten the paper white, but I would have gotten it really close. I'm going to just add some more shadow and depth to it and really make things pop. So one of the tricks to painting faces that I use because I mostly do suggestive faces, is if you're not sure of the proportions and you want to kind of hide the fact that they might be off a little bit, make sure the edge of the face is blended into the background. And like with a lot of my Buddhas, that started out because I wasn't sure of the proportions. Now it's just something I just do. But if you do that, then the edge of the face is less obvious. And if it's off a little bit, that's also less obvious. And at some point, I always forget to keep looking at the inspiration photo. This particular painting is no exception. I'm already just painting and having fun and forgetting to look at her photo. That's not unusual. It's not necessarily a bad thing either, because at some point it should become about your painting and having fun with the process and the art, and not really about the photo. Yeah, I don't know how they make these or what's in these, but I do know that you wouldn't have gotten the same kind of lifting with a regular sponge. So you need to look at dimples as any other feature on the face. Look at where the shadows and highlights are and paint it that way. Paint what you see, not what you think you see. Yeah, Paula, I want to go like do urban sketching and also go do like an art class like overseas. Like take one, not be the teacher. Thank you. Oh, Katrina, all right. Have a good evening. Good studying. Good luck with whatever it is that you're studying. And thank you, Mary. Okay, so we do need to come and dry this, and I need my trusty white gel pen. So let's dry this. Okay, so her nose got a little dark, so let's test this a bit. And let's go in with our magic eraser. That's just, oh my God, you guys. I am just blown away by how well that works. You know, it's one of those Pinterest hacks that I was just thinking is a load of crap. There's no way that works. It does work. I can't believe it. Yeah, only like 3 colors. We're not quite done yet, but we're getting close. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my really big brush and a bunch of these colors that I have on the palette, and I'm going to tone down the area around her. This is something I do with my Buddha paintings a lot. I'm not necessarily looking to make it black. Okay, that's just crazy how that works. It'll leave some staining behind, but that's just insane. Who would have thunk it? Magic erasers. Now you're all going to be like raiding your cleaning supply cabinet. It's pretty funny. So it's not about the background, it's about her face. So I want to neutralize some of the background so her face stands out more. And this is something I do when I paint a Buddha in acrylic paint also. I really want her to stand out, of course. Let's see. Okay. These, you can get a box like this of them. How many is in here? I mean, I just bought a whole box because I do use them around the house. This is 4 pads. I think it was like $2.99 or $3.99. I think I got it at Target. I mean, I only need one in the art room because I just cut a wedge of it off so that one sponge is going to last you a while. They do have a generic brand of these, Mary, at the Dollar Tree. So my Dollar Tree happened to be out of them, which is why I bought them somewhere else. So I would tell you all to go to your dollar store and see if they have one. So let's see where the highlights were in her eyes. And let's add them back in because we kind of lost them a little bit. And I'm going to add some other like white highlights, white. Make, pop out some of the white. Now, this is gel pen, so if you get too much on there or you're not, quite happy with the lines, get in there with a damp finger right away and you'll be able to get it off there, blend it in. I'll give you guys a close-up in just a minute, like super close-up shot. I am going to add some of the white gel pen to her eyes to, sort of bring out the whites of the eyes that you kind of, because the paper, there was no white on the paper, so I won't even say that we lost it. It wasn't there to begin with. Okay, and then I'm also going to come in with my back with my pencil. And I haven't used any materials that are, you know, unusual, hard to find, hard to get. These are all simple materials. And, you know, as far as the watercolor paints, which I get asked about a lot, they don't have to be anything fancy. I've told you all that. Get what you can afford. And if you don't know if you're going to like watercolor, don't go immediately investing in, you know, a bunch of expensive paints if you're not sure you're going to even like them. So I'm just choosing some spots on her face, eyes, and bring out her features. She's really, really good looking. Yeah, this is the Mr. Clean one. And there's different brands, and there's now the generic brands of these around. So I would say get what you can afford. Go to your dollar store and see if they have it first. The list. What is the list, Mary? So I'm going to take a black pen. Yeah, so you can get, my store for whatever reason didn't have just one sponge. You used to be able to just get one sponge. Now they only have like boxes of 4. But I think the Dollar Tree has boxes of 2. Thank you so much, Paula. I do teach a few lessons. I have a few recorded lessons. I'm thinking about doing like live lessons with people via Google Hangout. But I don't know if there's any interest, how much to charge, any of that. Mostly I just teach here on YouTube. I do some watercolor tutorials in my year 2017, not all the time, but yeah, I do them. I do them here every week. There is a section on my website called the Classroom, and any of my tutorials that I have filmed in the past, including my portion only of Crazy Island University, and there's a watercolor course, all of them are in there. You can pick and choose which ones you want to get. I always forget that it's on my website, so if you guys have forgotten, don't feel bad because it's my website and I forgot. But you pay for the class, and then I send you the link to the place where you can download all of the video and keep once you've paid for the class. Yeah, I use like the things that go under paper plates, like at a picnic to stiffen the paper plate. Those make great stencils. There's all kinds of stuff. If you look outside of the stationery and art supply section at your local store, there's all kinds of stuff you can use in art to make marks and all kinds of fun things. Okay, so I want to do some journaling over here. This is damp though, let's dry it. If I've missed any questions, type them now while I'm drying. Oh, that's too funny, Mary. I have a gotta get it list too, like a dream wish list. I want a macro lens for my cell phone. I want, I saw this leather like tablet case that I could probably fit my iPad and my Kindle and my phone and the cables and stuff in for like when I'm traveling and teaching, like things like that. But none of them are super cheap. Like they're all expensive. Okay, let's see. Love that. She turned out so much better than I thought she was going to. I got to be honest. I thought it was an interesting experiment, but I had no idea what was going to come out of it. Yeah, Kathy, I love making art, and I love making supplies for you guys, but I do the Etsy shop because it's easy. My website is able to sell things on it, but the Etsy shop is easier for some things. Thank you so much. You're Paula, your safe place. Paula, if your safe place is like mine, you know, you might never find them till you're moving. The pink was already on the page. The bright colors that you see poking through were from the brights and neon palette that I just put together last week. Now, this is a technique I've done in acrylic many times. I've started with a piece of paper that has neon colored paint just randomly smeared all over the background. And then you put on top of it your dark colors. Okay, so for instance, one way you could have done this if you were doing it in acrylic, you put the neon colors down in the background, let it dry completely. Come back to it after it's dry with some black charcoal, cover the whole thing in black charcoal, and then using an eraser and or paper towels, lifting up the charcoal in the right places to reveal the figure or face. You also can do it with black paint on top, but I would recommend adding glazing fluid or airbrush medium to the black paint so you have lots of time before the paint dries to lift it up. And I've done it that way many times. I've never done it this way with watercolor. This was a lot of fun. I'll be doing this again. The charcoal one is a lot of fun. I love charcoal. And, you know, if you take too much charcoal off, you can always go back and put some on. You can highlight certain things with chalk pastels. So the charcoal on top of the acrylic paint's a lot of fun. And Pauline has a lesson in her figures class where she, at least she used to, have a lesson where she taught that. I don't know if she still does or not. Thank you. I understood, Mary. No worries. I'm the queen of misspelling things, in case you haven't noticed. So yeah, I will send whoever wants the link to Pauline Agnew's website and her class listing. If you private message me here on YouTube or email me, my email is in the description of the video, or PM me over on Facebook if we're friends on Facebook, and I will give you her link. I don't remember how much her classes are. They're not super cheap, but they're not the most expensive out there either. I can tell you that whatever she charges is well worth it. She gives kind, gentle, helpful, constructive criticism when asked. She has a really great Facebook group that you can go in and hang out with other former students. And if you are blessed to take a class with her in person, she's really a great lady. I'm a big fan, in case you haven't noticed. All right, that's it for today. I hope that you all found this interesting. I was going to film this as a separate video, but I'm not going to now because we tried it. But yeah, Pinterest art hack. Magic erasers. Do they lift watercolor? The answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. And if you have other art hacks you want me to try, send them to me. Let me know. Shop in my Etsy store if you can. Support your local artists, of course, myself included, if you can, please. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video and my YouTube channel. We're really working hard right now to get to 10,000 subscribers this year. I'm at 7,800 and counting, and we are at 800,000 views here on YouTube. So woohoo! We are working hard to get that number up, though, so let's see what we can do. If you're not a member of one of my Facebook groups but would like to be, you want to send me happy mail, email, all of that stuff's in the description. Check it out. Link for the Etsy shop, all that stuff. The most important thing is to go out and have a great day. Do something nice for yourself because you deserve it. Play with your watercolors. Try something new. Is there a technique that you've done in another kind of medium and you're wondering if it would work in watercolor? There's only one way to know. Give it a try. Thank you, Letitia. Bye, Mary. Bye, Gerda. Bye, Paula. Bye, everybody. Bye, Lisa. All right. I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys. Bye, Eve.